you're seeing all this research and what we say, I don't need the research. I've seen this happening for 30 years.
Yeah.
I know that I know that I know.
Right.
And where we have some in chiropractic, whether it be the schools or the CC or whoever you want to put that blame on, but our choices over time have started to steer us away from, what your dad and Dr. Owen in the 50s were, why they became chiropractors.
Exactly.
And what they knew as chiropractic and what you and I knew as chiropractic and when we were going through school in the 80s, and then what it is today. And it seems that the profession has, or portions of the profession or the government or whatever you want to say, has started to move us away from what chiropractic really is that we know and trying to redefine that. But yet your and I experiences and the newer current research that's coming out is actually showing no, exactly what you guys said is happening. That's what the current research is showing. And what's your thoughts on that, of where the chiropractic profession has kind of gone since 81, and your 40 plus years in chiropractic?
Yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons it was heavy on my heart to get the research out there about immune function and upper cervical care. And I humbly realized one night as I was working on putting the project together that it just could not be about one office. And that's when I sat down and looked at the current class of diplomates in this 3-year program that I do the curriculum for. And I picked the top 6 doctors who do upper cervical work but slightly different procedures, whether it's Blair or AO or NUCA, orthospinology, knee chest. I picked those doctors very carefully, and then I funded an immune study to get the word out there about immune function and upper cervical care. Of course, I had no idea what was coming down the road technically, but I had that study completed. It's a salivary IgA, SIGA, to measure the spit before and after the adjustment and see the changes in the immune physiological response. And across the board, all of these candidate patients who participated were healthy participants. It was simply neck and back complaints. They couldn't have comorbidities or autoimmune issues. It was just kind of straight neuromuscular complaints, neck or back pain type thing. But they all saw a marked increase in their immune response after the adjustment within 30 minutes. And then 2 weeks later, we checked it again because they were all healthy. It had come back down. So we were looking at how to measure that to get the word out there about where your immune function comes from. Because at the end of the day, that's what we need to know. It's not what drug you can take or this or that. We need to know where the strength of our immune function is. And I'm sure, like you saw lots of patients during COVID.
Absolutely.
I'll share one with you. Have a fitness trainer. He's honestly an Adonis of a man. I mean, he is just so physically fit, and I've worked with him for decades. And his wife called me one Sunday, and she was in tears, and she said, "I'm afraid he's going to die. He's had COVID for 2 weeks." And I said, "I'm coming over." And I said, "Put an extension cord out on the driveway." She goes, "How about the back porch?" I said, "No, I want out in the sunlight. I don't want to be on a back porch." So I brought my portable table, and we pulled up in their driveway, and I set up my table, and Joe is his name. He's walking out from the house, and to see him walk, he was taking like a half to a third of a step at a time. This is a man who cycles hundreds of miles every week. I mean, he is not ambulating well at all. I get him to the table, I had him lay down, and I had him lift one leg and lift the other leg. He could lift neither leg, couldn't move him. I got him adjusted, had him back on his back. His right leg, boom, came up 90 degrees. His wife, who's standing at the garage bay door, is now bawling. She's, but the left leg won't move, will not move. and I'm checking him. I got him clear, but as I palpate his right kidney area, it is so hot, and I don't know how to describe this. It's from my palpation skills. I feel muscle spasms. I feel masses. I mean, the kidney was so hot. I said, Joe, you need to go to the ER. And his wife is going, I've been trying to get him to go to the ER. He won't go. I said, get in the car, Eileen. Back up the car. Joe, you're getting in the car. I figure God made me 6'2" for a reason.
There you go.
Got Joe in the car, and they went to the ER. He got to the ER. First time in 2 weeks. They were about 30 minutes away, less than 30. He had no fever for the first time. No fever. They found his kidney was severely dehydrated. They gave him 2 bags of fluid, sent him home. Within days, he was back at his fitness center training people. I mean, just dramatic change.
Right.
And I can share story after story, but what I did was get him aligned after his body had been through this fight with the fever, et cetera, et cetera. And honestly, I've never checked, I don't know about you, but I've never checked a child that's had a fever that's been clear. Right. I've never checked an adult that's been through a fever who's been clear and subluxation free. There's something about whatever goes on there that the body goes into fight, and that alignment doesn't always survive that.
Yeah.
So getting that realigned reestablishes that brain-body communication and that power that heals the body.
Yeah, and that sympathetic parasympathetic balance
exactly
comes back. And so it's interesting. I think it was Keith Wassung the other day I was listening to, and he goes, I just don't like we boost the immune system. And he goes, technically, yeah, that's what we're seeing. It looks like a boost, but we're actually just rebalancing. Or letting it regulate the way it's supposed to run. And, we're always lean towards, there's some kind of neurological insult and it's shutting off the nerve. And he goes, I think along those same lines, there's a neurological insult, but it's stimulating or overstimulating the nerve system, kind of like you were talking about when the blood vessel is banging up against the brainstem on every heartbeat, and stimulating that area.
Right.
And so I think that's where we need to get back to, this is shut off and we're turning it on. And I know that was a big thing. The lights are turned back on. We've said in chiropractic for years. But it's more just getting the body back to regulating the way God designed it to regulate.
Exactly. That homeostasis. That's a critical balance for all of us.
Exactly. And I think, as we talk about the, moving, I think that's where we've moved away from that. And whether that's going more to a mechanistic and instead of vitalistic, but that's what chiropractic has always done, is just restored the homeostasis so the body can function the way God meant it to function.